Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago, and welcome once again to the Bourse Report. Today, the Bourse family extends deepest condolences to the family of the Sabga family on the passing of the late Dr. Anthony Sabga. Indeed, a true icon of business in this community and a leader in so many spheres. Our condolences once again. Today, we are going to speak a bit about the expected upcoming APO, additional public offering of TTNGL, that is the Trinidad and Tobago Gas or Natural Liquids Company. TTNGL, that's the marker. Now, many people have been asking me what has happened with the first IPO and what are the lessons or the takeaways that we can have from that APO to this APO, the TTNGL APO. Well, let's look firstly at what were the results of the first additional public offering. And when we turn to our first graph, what do we see? Well, essentially what we see as we look at the graph is that a number of the various areas, for example, and in particular, the individual sector was undersubscribed. And let me turn you to the next graph, which gives you a better feel for this. So you would see that in terms of individuals, some 26 million shares, 26.6 million shares were allotted, and only 5.5 million shares were taken up, just under 20% or around 20% for individuals. And the cascading bucket started from the ESOP, going down to individuals, and then to, again, the mutual funds were undersubscribed. And as you go forward, you would see some of the other areas being oversubscribed and undersubscribed. What were the lessons learned in that last graph? One is that the individual sector that had been very keen in the first issue did not turn up for this issue. And in terms of looking at what were some of the reasons, the first is what happened in terms of the appetite on the individual sector. And the appetite on the individual sector was very muted, as you would have seen on that graph, and it had to be taken up to some extent by others. Notwithstanding that, the level of subscription was about 65% of what the overall issue was, so that when there were some 48.5 million shares in issue, just about 32 million were taken up. And then the question is, what are the lessons? What is it that will incentivize individual investors in particular to go forward and look at this particular APO expected to come up soon? And there are a number of factors and differences that you would want to look at with regard to NGL versus First. And there are some advantages with NGL, TTNGL versus First. And you would see it on the screen here. TTNGL is providing a higher dividend yield than the average of First. Higher in the sense that dividends versus the price of the shares is about 6.67%. And in the case of First, it is in the vicinity of 4.25%. There are other issues that surround this expected APO for TTNGL. And that is, very recently you would have heard that at its general meeting, its annual meeting, there was a vote taken to pay dividends on NGL, either in TT dollars or US dollars. Whether this is a tease or this will in fact happen with regard to payment in US dollars, the fact is that the infrastructure is now there to make such payment. What are the other issues in terms of the upcoming TTNGL matter? If we can get our graphs to change, that would be nice, but let's look at some of the other issues. Well, some of the other issues are, we talked about the superior dividend yield. We also speak to the question of a narrow trading range. What you would have seen is that the first shares would have traded from $22 up to about $42. In the case of TTNGL, for a very short period below 20, and then going up as we go along for a very short period at 25, so a narrower trading range, potential US dollar dividends. What are the lessons? I think the main lesson is what is the price of the issue, notwithstanding what quantities will come to the market. The question is price. Individual investors have been more or less looking for near-term capital gains. And if the price is at the close of the market, that is unlikely to happen with regard to the offering of additional shares on the market. Some consideration, therefore, needs to be paid in this upcoming APO, the TTNGL APO. Some consideration needs to be paid with regard to what the price is. If it is at the closing, it might not be as attractive as intended, especially if the allocation to individuals is as high as 55% or thereabouts as in the FCB APO. We can say much more about that. Look for us on our website, bourseinvestment.com, where we give you far more details and graphics on this particular matter. Look for us reach us at our new number, 2 Bourse, and as well, you can call us for any information, invest@bourseinformation.com. This has been the Bourse Report. Have yourself a wonderful investment week.